Okay, let's do another one.
You must have had this conversation when you were a kid at some point where you or somebody says, hey, like, why don't we just make more money? Why don't we just print more money, give everybody more money? Why don't we just do that? People have confused money for real resources. And I think
Right.
I think we live in an age where like money is kind of the new religion, and people confuse money for real resources. And this is like this confusion really prevents people from seeing, you know, seeing the forest in front of their eyes. So COVID, we knew the government was going to give £1 trillion out, which it did. £1 trillion, a lot of money, right? 20 grand per person. US numbers even bigger. You should know distribution is going to change, probably inflation crisis, probably a big increase in asset prices. It should be obvious, right? Because you printed tons of money, you haven't done anything to real resources. But what was the media actually saying? The media was saying, oh my God, people have got so much money now. We're going to have such an economic boom when we reopen. Like, how idiotic is that? You must have had this conversation when you were a kid at some point where you or somebody says, hey, like, why don't
Okay, so I when I heard this short today, I couldn't stop watching it. Um, like I think I watched it like 3 or 4 times. Because it's so true. Uh, when they did the Corona, like we're closing everything down and we're giving you money, I was furious. I was like, I don't know. If you knew me, I was about to go feral. I'm not even joking. I went nuts. And all my friends who were like basically on like the conservative side, they were like, "What's your problem? Trump's doing this. It's good. He's got it under control. It'll all be over once he wins the election in 2020 and all that." And all my friends on the left were like, "He's not doing enough, and I want to live forever off of fake money." Basically, they didn't know that. They wanted like checks forever, you know, and they thought they were like entitled to that. And I was just telling both of them, because the people on the right were like, "It's a stimulus. Don't worry, it's gonna be fine." And I was like, "Do you realize what's gonna happen when you pump that much money in immediately into the system? Like, do you understand? Like, I failed math, okay? Um, but I know this. Yeah, like I failed like consumer math, dude. And um I wasn't this stupid, but most people are. Or no, this guy's great. I'm not picking on him. Not in the least. But I'm just trying to explain that people were just so, I don't know. There was only I had a lot of trouble finding anyone who had common sense during that time. It forced me onto the internet, and even then, you know, um, it wasn't too easy. And yeah, when he talks about money as a religion, he has a point because people just don't really think about money for what it actually is. And in the Bible, you know, they talk about money. The love of money is the root of all evil. That's what like Jesus said supposedly. And people think that money is evil. I'm like, no, it's not. It's the love of it. It's the pursuit of it for itself and for no other reason. Not using it to help your friends, not using it to help your family, not it's the love of money to just money. And I want, all of us want more money. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. But uh, this is true. If we just print money, it's not like gonna make us all like. My favorite metaphor is let's give everyone in America $1 million. Just everyone. What do you think's gonna happen? I'll tell you what. we're not going to be any richer. Um, you know, we're just going to be in the same spot. And it'll be like a bunch of dislocation because some people will be smart enough to use that money to, use it wisely and maybe buy some assets that, if they're smart, real quick. You better be real quick. And some people will just like spend it on nonsense, and that will drive up consumer prices, like, food and this and that. They'll just like eat out all the time, or something like that. And, they won't invest it. And then, yeah, some people will invest it and drive up asset price. It would just be the dumbest thing ever. Just don't do it. We should not be just just printing money like crazy. I do realize the Federal Reserve has to sometimes bail out our government because we have massive debt. But at some point, like a bartender that has to cut you off, you know what I'm saying? Um, it has to happen, and it won't be pretty, and it won't feel good because you're gonna have a hangover and all that. But what are you gonna do, right? Um, that's how I feel about it. But shout out Gary Stevenson. Just explaining this in layman's terms as someone. I can't find people who understand money like him very much. The last guy I did is not longer on this planet. It really saddens me. So, shout out to you. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're saying what you're saying because people do not understand what the hell is going on. So, there is my rant. So there. Wait, darn it. Hold on.